Di fronte a noi si sta aprendo una nuova era. Camminiamo insieme, un passo dietro l'altro, verso il futuro. La trasmutazione è in atto nel mondo e in noi. Guarda oltre l'orizzonte. Antichi portali aprono nuovi mondi. Passato e futuro si fondono. L'immenso trova se stesso. Fermati, sei già nel futuro. La struttura della creazione è struttura dell'esistenza stessa. Io sono vita, sono pura essenza perché l'essere è in me. Io sono l'universo perché l'intero universo è in me. Oggi è già domani.
Ciao a tutti, bentornati sul mio canale.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is a live recording, but a very special one because it's the first day of the year. I'm in Sanya, China, right now, and today is Nowruz, the first day of the year, both for the astronomical calendar, because it's the equinox, and also because it's a special day celebrated not only in Iran, with the name Nowruz, which means new day or new year, but also in a huge part of the world because it was a festival. It's probably the oldest festival on earth, and it was in the Persian Empire. There are about 30 centuries of history on this festival, if not more. For us here, it is a festival indeed. We celebrated just a little while ago, the first day of the year, the real New Year. And yet Mr. Keshe is with us anyway to record the interview. So for me, it is a great honor, and I thank him profoundly for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Ok, ora la mia domanda è, dopo questo seminario...
Okay, now my question is, after this seminar, because today is the first day after spending 4 days together for the third meeting of the Plasma Space Traveler Seminar, which is the seminar that we have just finished.
In funzione di questa esperienza appena conclusa,
And in relation to this experience that we've just finished, I would like to ask Mr. Keshe what his perception is of the level of humanity towards this new technology that is coming.
Depends. You're talking about only people who participated in the meeting or humanity as a whole?
You can take both if you wish.
The people who take part in this conference, they're all educated over years, 5 years, 10 years. They know what's the aim, they know where we're going. So with them is impatience. They know what can be done, and the technology could be there that they can do it. And so when you see them, when you talk to them, it's just impatient. They want it to be done. They want it to arrive to the change. The change is not something that's going to be the end of the year or the end of the life or end of the planet. It's the beginning of an additional knowledge to which we have already. We just extended it. And so outside cannot think such a thing is possible. They don't even think about it because scientific world tells us it's impossibilities, a lot of things. But within the circle of knowledge seekers, them who are close to the technology and they have sensed it, they feel different. There is a time, it needs to be. You feel a lot of, in the past 4 or 5 days, impatience that you can do it, why we don't do it. So as the knowledge seekers, a lot of them are waiting for it. They know this is possible because they felt the energy of the technology. From outside is something, nothing to do, because nothing we can do about it, so we wait till something happens one day.
Ok. Molte persone sostengono che l'umanità non...
Many people say that humanity is not ready for a new era.
Qual è, secondo
What do you think is the barrier, from an energetic point of view,
l'umanità deve...
that humanity must overcome in order to enter a new era?
It's not a disclosure, we teach it every week. It gets disclosed more and more for the past 10 years. The last week is 10 years of teaching, non-stop. The point is that we've been conditioned to accept a lot of things around us about the science which is fake, that what is real about themselves they cannot accept. As I always say, nobody would like to say I'm stupid, and I accept it. But it's not stupid, it's additional information, but in a different way. They always say, in the olden days, they said if you go more than 20 miles an hour in the car, your blood comes out of your nose, your ears will pop and you die. Now we do what? 400 or 500 kilometers, nothing happens. People were afraid of getting in the car and going fast because this is what they perceived. They've been told. Science says this, so people were scared of the scientists. Now it's the same thing. People are afraid of going faster because some idiot somewhere said you can't go more than the speed of light. Where we actually can go, the speed of light is one of the lowest scale of speed in the universe. But now, try to change the talk, what we accepted, and a lot of people who make a lot of things out of it because he said so, he's a guru, we go that way, what he said, and now somebody comes, shows physically system can be done, there's a problem because we accepted, we don't, none of us like to say we are stupid. And now we got stuck in the stupidity of humanity because of a stupid man who was a more or less what I call a bookkeeper. Einstein caused more problem than anybody else. We have got a brain freeze because of a frozen brain, which was Einstein, and everybody believes it. And we have made formulas, we have done tests to prove he's correct. Yeah. So the problem is accepting that there is more to the knowledge than where this guy has put a line. It's literally what I call it, the whole of humanity on the science level has been hijacked, terrorized by one Jewish guy called Einstein, who's a bookkeeper. If we get people to understand E equal mc square is just loads of rubbish, if we stop people accepting the speed of light is the ultimate speed, humanity will move. And this is the problem of today. Scientists like me are not the only one. There are many, many scientists who said that. If you go back in 1930s, German top scientists have written an article. There is a huge article telling how much rubbish Einstein is talking, why is it accepted? It's documented. There are papers that are opposition to Einstein, all his theories, because it's nonsense. But he was Jewish, we had the Holocaust, Jews were victims, so they used him to stick it up. But none of, if we take this work of hijacking, this terrorist of science, what I call Einstein, taken out, that we are talking about the continuation of science. We are not adding something new. We are talking about, it's very simple. I always say, we started with nothing, we had a fire, then we start understanding the metals, we mixed the metals, we made alloys, we became scientists, we called them molecules and atoms. Then we knew the molecules, now we went to atoms, we became atomic physicists, we became then nuclear, we started talking about the energy, that it changes to heat or whatever. Now we're talking about how this energy created, or where does it come from? Is it our heart? Einstein has hijacked this boy. Man cannot think what happens, how the energy comes out. That's all it is. So we are going to the next extension of science in understanding where the heat comes from. We accepted the nuclear. Nuclear is as radiation. Radiation is coming from somewhere. It's energy. So we're going to see inside what it is. And we see it's so easy, it's magnetic fields. We call it plasma. So where the people who found the atom were wrong, people who became the nuclear were wrong. Now we open the atom, we find the energy, we are wrong, except those who have written a lot of fake books confirming this hijacking, and now we got stuck with it. There is nothing new. It's extension. It's extension of knowledge. And this is where the problem sits. And now with the conferences like this, you saw in this conference, 3 well-known academicians appointed by the leadership of the government, the country, to sit in this conference, 2 specialists, people from the military, sitting and listening, saying if it makes sense. And the way we explained in the conference, they all accept technology. They have confirmed to the leaders of the nation, technology has moved on. So we already received the green light. They accepted the leaders of the science in this country, which are appointed by the leaders of the nation. If these 3 leaders, scientists, academicians, would have accepted the technologies, right? We go further. If they say now it was just another conference, now it already was decided in the second day. A new technology has come up, and this nation will be part of it. 2008 in Iran, we had the same thing. No difference to us, to me. When I went to Iran, invited by the government in 2008, they put 5 of the head of the universities, all professors, all elite scientists, to decide on the science. And after 2 hours of discussion, explaining, and a beautiful lunch, all 5 said, yes, it's a breakthrough. And Iran moved into a new technology in 2008. We are 2024. Now China is moving. You understand? There are people inside the Keshe Foundation who are blocking things deliberately. Fake news, fake things, taking us to the wrong direction. All that is stopped because the leadership has decided we come in, we don't listen to none of this nonsense. Yeah? So now we're talking to the other half, which is the Americans. For them, they know the situation to open up. And now it's a combination of 2 leading scientific countries, Iran in atomic nuclear, China moving. Now we have to see, then they start teaching people. You understand? This is public teaching. And then we all move very quick. Human race is very good. The minute they find a track, they follow it. You understand? So now the biggest hurdle for us was to bring Iran, America, and China on the table of science, nothing else. And now we're moving. The change by leading scientists accepting has changed. This conference will bring changes because we already have confirmation from the leaders of the nation, technology is going on. It doesn't matter who we discuss anything in this country. They threw a big line over anybody we spoke in the past. This changed.
A proposito di questo, molti italiani si chiedono.
Speaking of which, many Italians wonder why you chose China for this new step.
You're Italian.
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
I spent 6 years with Italian scientists. I lived in the Sanya. I moved south to Bari, in Barletta, working with scientists. I worked with many nuclear physicists in Italian nuclear center. We made some tests and a lot of work we did with the Italian water contamination and all sorts. But then, before that, we spent 10 years in Belgium with the Belgian scientists, and then before that with the British. And at the same time, we didn't stop with the Italians or the British or whatever. China, we spent 7 years in China. It's not just a conference. We came here in 2017. We done a lot of work, a lot of tests, a lot of technology proving. It's not just you get these people just turning up. Yes, it is. And a lot of work has been done here by knowledge seekers. And at the same time, a lot of Chinese scientists know the technology. They are on the edge of it. They understand it. And so this is another stop. We move to what they call it, United States in a bigger way. We have already structures. You're here in a very short time. We already have opened the doors in Brazil. Russian scientists are already with Keshe Foundation for 20 years. Some of them leading space scientists. This is part of the structure, and this is not new. We started this series of conferences in 2019. Was planned where we are going. Corona came in the middle, it stopped us. The first conference we had in Italy, in Rome, 2 conferences. The very first one was in Dubai. Then we went to Brazil. We went to Malta, and while we were in Malta, Corona came and everything shut down. Yeah? So we had 2 conferences in Italy, in Rome. First and second conference of Rome. And then now we had 2 in England in 2023, 1 is here. We moved into Iran, Washington, Brazil, and then next and next and next. Because this is not a show, this is a teaching. And the way you have never seen a conference, the way you've seen it past 4 days here. It's not somebody standing on the top and next one coming reading the next article. The audience is part of the knowledge. It's a very unusual. If you look at the Keshe Foundation conferences, I stand there as an interviewer like you. I put a little bit, they come out with it, they ask questions and they get feedback. I had one of the Chinese, what they call it, leaders here, said, we've never seen a conference like this. It's not organized. I said, it's not an organization, this is a family. Doesn't matter what color you wear, you're Chinese, you're Indian, you're Iranian, they all have the same knowledge, they have worked, they've done things, and now they want to see if there's anything they can do a little bit better. He said, this is the most strangest conference, but it's the way we learn. Every question is a knowledge. It's not there that I say so, I've done the research, I'm a professor, so and so. They're all professors, they're all scientists in their own way. This is the way this knowledge will go. It will be carried by the people the way it's carried in China. In Iran, we have the same. We have the same in Austria, we have the same even in Belgium. We cut Belgium out because of the reasons we had. We have opened the doors for the Belgians to come back in. The foundation, according to security statistics, has over 100 million people who come, who go, who learn, who do things. And they just pop out, more and more comes. But it's a natural process. You're Italian. Who made the first pizza first?
Chinese.
No, they are the noodles. The pizza is yours, the noodles is there. But
just
because
joking.
it's such a delicious thing we all enjoy, you come to China, you get the pizza, you go to Africa, you get the pizza, you go to Italy, you get no pizza, it's no good. You go to England, you get the pizza. So because it's something we all enjoyed, everybody does. And this knowledge will be like that. So this is the extension of the knowledge. And we are just servants to people. We just extend the knowledge. They use it and they work with it. and many people are using it.
Questa conoscenza nasce per portare la pace e questo è stato detto nella conferenza.
This knowledge was born to bring peace, and this was said in the conference many times. But I don't know how much the audience listening to us understood how new technology and a new understanding of science can really bring the conditions for global peace to the table.
The governments all understand. Peace is the consequences of the knowledge. It's not the target of the knowledge. This is what I explain in the teaching and in my talk with all the diplomats and politicians. We say we do the technology in exchange for peace. This is the title of the Keshe Foundation, it's our motto. But we are not giving technology to the government. We are giving technology to the people that as they use it, forces the condition of peace. We're giving it to the government to show what your people can do, that they understand is not exclusivity of them. We are pushing to the next step. What we saw here in this conference was very simple. At one point, the feeling, because I see them, we talk to them, we have lunch with them, was that we are less knowledgeable about this technology than the people who are farmers here. One of the academicians was offended that there's a farmer here who works in the garage, makes a space reactor, and him as an academician has no clue about it. It's not anymore I oppose it, how much have I missed? And you've seen here in the conference is not them and us. We hug, we kiss each other, the Chinese, the rest, because it's a family. The same. You know, we spent 7 years here. He wasn't sitting behind a desk. It's just working, doing things with people. So the scientists in this conference was very clear. We had the same emotion feeling in Malta. In Malta, we had the same with the scientists who were brought in by the different groups, that how come we literally know than a woman in the kitchen as a housewife, and I'm supposed to be an academician. This touched the Chinese academicians this time, because when we had a meal with them, they said, this is what surprises. We miss the knowledge. It's not that the knowledge is not there. And so we teach enough, people use enough, that we show the governments, you are the one who's left out, but you want to make it inclusive. Condition is that when you can have a, what do you call it, gold as much as you like, and my little girl, age of 5-year-old, making the kitchen gold, so who's in power? Yeah? I'll show you something. That pocket. This is the amount of gold which has been made inside concrete blocks in the past week. Now, this is 70-80% gold. This is 90-95% gold. We have separated.
Which one is 90?
95 and
Okay.
70. You see the gold.
All right.
No, can you hold this? Don't take the energy of it. This is how gold as energy looks like. You can see it.
Sì, sì, sì.
Yeah? Absorbed in your body.
Ah, è
Because it's a
vero.
plasma. Now you're worth a little bit more. I sell a gram of this gold for €1,000 per gram. It's about $1 million a kilo. For a real gold, you pay $50,000, $60,000. The difference between this gold is a plasma of the gold. It's the energy wherever you go in the universe. Nobody can give you this. And if you understand what you can do with this, because we don't say just it's gold because we say so. Chinese military, Chinese laboratories have confirmed it as an energy is gold. So we know it's there. We showed the data from the labs. Plus, part of this material is the materials which indicates that the gold exists in the environment, which means another 20, 30, 19, whatever elements. So if I get my system right, I can make a kilo of gold a day, which I don't need it as a matter. I can use it as energy to feed the whole nation with it. Would you like to buy a kilo of gold if I change it? You're a shopkeeper, you make a kilo last night in the kitchen. The housewife has made half a kilo in the kitchen. You know, as I said, you go to the shop, I have half, so I made 1 kilo myself, so it has no value. Yeah? You understand?
Yes.
So we're coming to that point. And then we're coming to another point that if you understand this and you can put this in a specific condition, and I put this beautiful lady in between it, she can have all the food and medicine she likes. Do you want to go and kill a cow to feed yourself? Do you want to go and cut a, what do you call it, a vegetable, which is a life? Or would you stand in between this and get everything you need without killing? You understand? So to you as a gold might become a ring, and then you make your commitment for life to a woman. To me, it's a life-saving thing. It's the energy of it. If you hold what I hold, my fingers are tinkling with energy. In a way, up to now, we use what I carry, this is beautiful. We use this thingy, getting it right there, to start a fire, if you understand it, with a match. Now I do the same thing, I start a fire of knowledge in a bottle. There's no difference. Here we use this to cook, to burn, to create energy. Now the energy comes from this. This can only burn something else, give energy to cook another animal, to whatever it does. This carries the energy that makes the animal. Why do you need to kill it? There's a difference. You understand? So this is where the new technology, the new science brings a change. And the thing is, we are going to space. How many matchboxes can I take, and how much wood I can take, and how much nuclear reactors I can take to space? I carry a few grams of this in my pocket. I have my food, I have my medicine, I have my energy, I have everything I need to survive. That's no difference. It's just the extension of knowledge. We learn how to start a fire, we cooked. Now we know how to use what created that fire. We don't need to cook, we don't need to kill. And the beauty of this is, it carries energies which satisfies the emotion of the man. Hunger for power, to be a leader, to kill, to be a king, goes with it. It satisfies not only the stomach of the man, but the emotion of the man. And that's where the peace will come. And we are not talking theory, because it's there and it's made in concrete room in 4 days. When we did it with the Chinese military in the mountains, the whole room, the whole environment, outside, inside, is gold. But this gold is not a gold you can eat and make a jewelry with it. You can do it, there's a face to it, you convert it, or use it as an energy, and does everything. I can make potato with this. I can do a flour to make your pizza with it. I can add the same meat you want on the pizza. I can even make you that little red wine to go with it, knowing what to do. Because we've done it, it's not something that's gonna happen. So it's the extension. You want to still use a match, or do you want to match it with what it is in it to get what you like?
Proprio riguardo all'oro, about gold, questa è una domanda che mi è stata fatta.
Just regarding gold, this is a question that I was asked. I mean, it was written on my channel by many people, and I personally think it's a silly question, but since it's so common, I'm going to ask it, and it is, since it's possible to produce gold and convert it into spendable gold, why does the Keshe Foundation need grants, donations, when they could produce as much gold as they want?
We don't need the money. Money is not the objective. We set money to billions because it would have bought the technology and shelved it. Is everyone to participate in it that they can keep it going? It's a big difference. We can produce anything. We can produce kilo of plutonium, 100% pure. Governments pay billions for it. We don't need you. I don't even need to talk. The whole object is that to bring more people to participate in it. Let them make gold. A few knowledge seekers tried to make gold, but they didn't succeed. Some made some gold, but they couldn't convert it. You understand? So objective is not gold. We work within the structure of sharing knowledge. Otherwise, we can do everything else. Gold is worthless compared to materials I can produce. We produce a rare earth material that the American government will pay a few $1 million a kilo of it because the American technology development in science is stagnating because the Chinese have bought all the rare earth materials past 30, 40 years, locked it. West cannot move. And now we produce rare earth materials in the United States, and we told the Chinese we're going to do it. And the Americans, instead of me making $56,000 a kilo, they pay me $4 or $5 million for a few grams. But that is to change the condition again between China hold on the science and technology development and force the nations to speak to each other. This, I can live a king's life, but I live within a frame that we carry people with us. People have to carry this knowledge. It's not that we lost tens of millions in past year and a half, 2 years by fraud, which is now is in the Austrian, legal frame, by people set up deliberately by other governments to do this. We slowed down. Now we're back up again. We had to sort a lot of things, and then we had the corona at the same time. Everybody says, it's a big problem, and I thank God both for losing the money and with the corona, because it blocked us, and we have enough finances. We developed. We went into the labs. We concentrated on development. If you see, I showed at the beginning of the conference, we used to make a gas machine. We showed a year and a half ago, you can literally get Mercedes, inside it. It was so big. Now it's reduced to a bottle. That's the technology development. And very soon it'll be in a small container. So, did we go outside? Did we rob people? Did the Keshe Foundation work and stop? And when we saw the development, we needed money, we went to the Keshe Foundation Nowruz, because it says, for the first time, Foundation is asking for support. And it came. A lot of people supported us. But we are not in the hand of the governments. We didn't sell the technology to get money to research. We are independent. Nobody can touch us. Nobody can dictate to Keshe Foundation what to research in and where to research in, because we stay independent. And the cost of the Keshe Foundation on a monthly basis is in 5 and 6 digits. It's not what we run labs which people, if we don't pay one of our staff 1 month, we go into problem. If you don't pay our bills, we're going to problem. Just the internet. You go on the Keshe Foundation, whatever, with all the backup to it, it costs the foundation about $30,000 a month. Just you go and show kf.global. It's not just that, it's updated, upgraded, server changed, servers brought in. Staff, we pay like you do. Zoom charges so much, we pay nearly $10,000, $8,000 a month just to the internet companies. And then you have IT staff, everything else. Forget about our research. That side, you're talking about $20,000, $30,000 a month. Then you put our research on. You don't want, did we go bankrupt? Did we stop one day not broadcasting? Did we stop it? Actually, in the time we lost more money, we invested more in research, and that's what you see. In the heart of Corona, we opened the exhibition. 2,000 square meters, a lot of Italians came. So we don't need to print gold. We have a gold which is the knowledge in our hand, and that is carrying us through. I don't need, what do I want to do? I eat. I used to be much thinner, and because of the Corona, I ate a bit too much, I got fat, and now I have to diet to lose it, to go back to what I was. What am I gonna do with the money? You understand? And our staff are paid the best wages in Europe, outside. Wherever our people served correctly, our staff in Austria are paid wages that actually, we are taken to court by the government recently in Austria because we paid too much to somebody who was supposed to receive so much. We are in court because we paid our staff more than what is legally allowed. We are in court today. We can go to the court and say, the judge says, law in the country says, for this class, let's say you pay 2,000, why have you paid 2,500? They're penaltying us, and I sat in front of the judge says, these people we train, doesn't matter. Because you're paying too much, then the others have to pay too much, and the economy cannot support. And I said, I thought we were respecting our workers. Cannot be. That we are paying penalty for paying, and where we saw mismanagement, we closed very directly. You're trusted to do, you have to manage. Where we saw there's no development, we closed. Where we saw abuse, we closed. We closed one of our biggest operations in South America, Central America, because of the abuse we found in it. Keshe Foundation became cover for illegal activities, which was covered under my name. I closed, I sold, I moved out. Because we trusted somebody who we thought we trust. The same thing happened in China. We gave it to the management who was incompetent to manage. We closed, now we come in a different direction. The same in other places. We were extensively busy in Thailand. We moved out because there was some things we couldn't understand. Keshe Foundation in 2018, 17 had a 350,000 euro per month wage bill. Do I need to print? Did we go to anywhere? We have no overdraft. I can open all the bank accounts. We have not a cent. It's our money. I invested privately. And where I need, when I see operation work, I invest. Honestly, I run into problem with governments, which is a different thing. I don't need to print. What I don't need, what's the use carrying more gold? It's not printing, it's sharing the knowledge, but carrying the governments with us, carrying the people with us. And this is more knowledge. 10 years. I think tomorrow is 530th week, non-stop. For 10 years, we taught education and people, everybody takes from it what is not. So I don't need to print gold. My gold is the investment of the people you saw yesterday in past 4 days in conference. When they're here, they don't ask for anything. They're here to share knowledge. They're here to respect the knowledge. And I think we had from 20, 25 countries or islands and nations in a conference. This is the gold, not what's in the pocket we can produce.
Molto bello questo. E spero che chi
This is very nice, and I hope that the listener can understand this by stepping away a little from the economic dynamic that has unfortunately invaded today's thought form.
Passando a un altro argomento.
Moving on to another topic, in the previous interview you spoke of your willingness to intervene to help Gaza in the current war situation. Can you give us an update on what has happened and what the Keshe Foundation has managed to do for the Palestinians in recent weeks?
Gaza is a very complicated, both for government and scientists. And we have the technology. How we are involved in Gaza is not that we're sending food packages and trailers full of this and that. We are a scientific space organization. We have developed a technology where if you want the water, I carry the energy of the water to you to the moon. You don't need to carry the water. You want a banana, I can send you the energy of the banana on the moon. You receive it through communication system we developed. You taste the banana, you get the energy of banana, you have the pleasure of the banana. So what we came up with was, and we discussed this extensively before with two military governments, armies, that we do this for the soldiers. And then the Gaza came out, and the technology is ready for it. So we set out, instead of setting trucks load of food, we set up a system in our center in Austria where we're going to do it with the scientists or astronauts, we do it with the people. So we have developed a special system that is dynamic, and it can transfer all the energies for the blood, for the brain, all the antibiotic range, all the painkillers, everything else, and you just put a headphone on and you receive it. And there's a way to receive it. And we made this operational about 2 weeks ago. We have penetrated the whole of Gaza. There is more or less 70-80% of the Palestinians know about this because we found a way to get into it. We didn't tell no one about it. And a lot of knowledge seekers sent us, oh, these are the groups. You send us the groups, we still use your groups. And then it came, which we knew 3-4 weeks before. We announced it in a very hidden way in the teaching. We knew that the Iranian military has got into the Gaza actually without arms. Iranian soldiers got into Gaza without arms, bring in their pots and pans from the military base and start feeding the Gaza. Food goes in, we know all the way they're getting the food in, and this puzzled the American and the Israelis because they thought, that's it, we got it, we're gonna squeeze these people to what we get. But how did the Iranian military appear with their flags and everything else? If you've seen them when they arrived, they walked in, all of them with the big flags of Iran and the open kitchen. We're not here to fight you Israelis, we are here to feed. So, in a way, Israelis tried to block the Keshe Foundation, that because we use communication. Right? We went a step into the space system. We are delivering food in a different way. And now we have the advantage of Iranian military inside has made life much easier. And we would like to leave it at that point that we don't need to carry any more pizzas into Gaza. They can have a pizza, margarita, whatever you like. You think of it, you get the energy of it. And Israelis cannot block it. And this is the next step technology, which now we use it for Gaza. We learn next time it's an earthquake in north of Italy, you use it for your people. Next time is volcanic eruption somewhere else. We have people we can't get to the people. They have a mobile phone. You have a mobile phone, we can feed you. You have a mobile phone, you're the richest man, stuck in the cave with a Sherpa behind you on top of the Everest, you can get fed. You're in pain, you've broken a leg, we can get you, deliver the painkiller with your headphone. It's a space technology. Instead of sending your voice through the new plasma technology, we send the energy of the medicine and you receive it. There is a technique to it to receive it. And we have created that technique. We can convert energy of the plasma into the matter energy. And we teach people how to do it. And thanks to the Iranian military, we will feed all the people in Gaza once our program is completed. And it'll be a good test because in China they have earthquakes quite frequently, every 10 to 15 years. We have huge disasters. Military cannot get in. We get people all over the world flying to help. Now everybody knows, open the phone, there's an app, you load an app, you receive, doesn't matter you're Chinese in the earthquake, there's American next door to you, and if there is somebody else. This is a change in science. So Gaza for us is the first test, and because of what Israelis did with the art delivery technology, so we bypassed them. We're developing a technology that he had to come. He had to go. And the beauty with it is that there are 8 billion of us. There are 9.5 billion mobile phones on this planet. You understand? So it's not that hard. There's 1.5 billion every year, and God knows how many 100,000 adds to it. So there isn't, the problem is not. But if you go back to the teaching of Keshe Foundation, some 8-10 years ago, always said, if you have 2 mobile phones, I can feed you, get you everything you need. And if you get more mobile phones in the market, every man will have to, even the monkeys in the jungles will carry one because they've found from somewhere. We can feed the monkey, let alone the man.
Perfetto. Molte persone si chiedono quale sarà la prima tecnologia diffusa.
Many people wonder what will be the first technology to be disseminated to the people, through governments of course. So, for example, whether the first thing to come to this new world will be new means of transport, new ways of producing energy, or something in the field of medicine. What will be the first thing, in your opinion, and when will it reach the public, and not just scientists?
I'm going to become arrogant.
Ok.
That's the way.
The arrogancy comes. You saw Chinese, you saw people from Bangladesh, Americans next to the Iranians, you saw people from Germany, Italy, all sorts of people in the conference. We already start governing with other governments as a Keshe Foundation. This is a secret. We teach our people how to feed themselves. We teach how to create medicine. As you saw how they presented yesterday. The lady uses the gases to cure cancer. And she's a housewife. She understood the knowledge. So we have become a government governing through the heart and knowledge, not through borders. So it doesn't really matter how the governments decide or acknowledge. The acknowledgement came by using it by the people you see, and it's the same all over the world. So we have our own currency accepted by European bank central system. We have introduced our own governing system through Universal Council. We have introduced our own what we call banking system, which is coming up. Everything has been set up, and now in a very hidden way we are governing. But through the people, through the knowledge. A few months ago, somebody said, Mr. Keshe is planning to govern the world. I don't need to plan, I already do. But people govern themselves. people, you've seen it. They produce air cleaning conditions for Taiwan, changed the pollution in Taiwan. Yesterday we saw knowledge seekers we never met before. People comes from Hong Kong, they use the technology. Yeah, this was a Chinese session. We get the European coming up with something else. We've done a huge work with the Italian government. It's in your parliament. Dossier is done, how to clean the air by the knowledge seekers. So we already become a government. We govern through technology and the heart of people. These governments, they need their own time to catch up, and the governments are catching up very, very fast because people are using it. So we don't need to be recognized, we are already recognized. Internet has opened a lot of things. They cannot close the internet. And so you go to the governments, what do you need to recognize? Governments are recognized. A guy is a president if his people recognize him as a vote for him to become a president. We govern through technology to people because they use it. So we already have to start governing, but in a very, very simple way. The secret is do it with the people, amongst the people, and together with the people bring the change. And we more or less achieve it. We see more and more stronger dimensions in governing. When we launched the Keshe Foundation coin, the European Central Bank objected to it. I had to go 6 months of discussion and interrogation. They said yes, they accepted it. We said you can go on the Keshe Foundation website and buy a coin as a donation, not as a coin to put in your pocket. And it was approved. Keshe coin, and the structure of the Keshe Foundation is a European coin. If you go outside, many people buy coins. There is not a week or a day that we don't see people buying Keshe coin. They come on the website, and then they come back months later, years later. Can I cash my coin because I want to buy this, or I want to do this, or can you pay my son somewhere else? People run into problem. They bought a coin 2, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and we had cases. People say, I bought this coin from you, I'm from Africa, can you pay for my son's education in the United States? We cash the coin for them. So we start seeing we are governing, we don't need to be governed. Keshe Foundation has become a total integrated structure, but it takes step by step. And we don't need to be recognized by Fox Television. We have already foxed it. We got onto it.
Okay.
Ok. Si è parlato di tecnologia spaziale e di andare...
There has been talk of space technology and of going into space, even making long journeys, because now this technology that has been presented to us over these last few days will allow that to happen soon. But at this point, what will be the next challenge of mankind when it really enters space?
The biggest problem with humans is ignorance. Now we are biggest problem. And we see it every day. A lot of knowledge seekers, families are in fight with each other. Those who become knowledge seekers, those who understand they want to bring the change with their wives, with their husbands, because this doesn't bring bread on the table. You say you're loving me, you're pushing salt in a box, making gas and these things. Most of the knowledge seekers trying to understand this technology, they have found a mistress. A mistress doesn't have to come a beautiful lady or a man you go and see outside. They are at home, the wife says, blah, 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 blah. It's not there, he's somewhere else dreaming how the gas works, what is the next gas, and then it creates a friction in the house. So we see this. Some of the knowledge seekers have become very clever. They bring the wife too. They can't get hold of the wife to bring. They bring the children, and the children, because of the wife, comes in. We have a lot of cases like this. So we're going in a direction that knowledge amongst the people. Then once you understand making the gases, you see the effect of it on the other things, you learn how it creates energy, you come to realize gradually that if these energies are there and I'm made of it, and it's so simple, I cannot be the only creature in the universe. You're not the only race. And it's like a family, it's like in different nationalities. Each one of us has his own habits, his own ways of living. We are created in the village of the earth that we are Chinese, Italian, blah, blah, they eat blah, blah. Now we accept there are others who might not eat food, but they like energy. Their cuddle and kisses is different than mine. We accept it as part of the bigger family. The biggest problem is we're not allowed in this family. It's like literally, you know, when you're a naughty boy and mom puts you out in the garden, when you behave, you can come in. We are that boy as a whole race on this planet. The universal community has put us in the garden. When we behave, when we stop killing, when we stop the fighting, when we become to order that you can have whatever you like, we understand it, then you can come in the house, eat on the same table. And so we are actually the ones punished. We alienate ourselves, then become aliens. And once we see the way we are going, we can have energy without killing, and everything else, the universal community, we are part of it. We are part of the universe. We are part of the community of creation. It's us by our behavior, not to teach the others to kill and destroy. We're put in out by the mother, you're punished, you're outside, and we stay outside till we learn the rules. And once we come in, it's a beautiful, warm family. We learn, we teach more. You're not that naughty boy, you have to give us humanity has got a lot of knowledge, a lot of beautiful things which can actually give to the universal community or community of the created. So when would it happen? When we stop killing, when we stop wars, when we stop friction, when we stop animosities. And then, because you know, when you're naughty and learn to do naughty things, you come in the house, you teach the others, and you cause problem, everybody become naughty. We are kept out till we become good, and then we are let in. And we are teaching that bits that, you know, good boys get this, now you fit a cancer, now you get a little bit of energy, you settle down, and then when we come in, the community is all there. Life is not exclusivity of this planet. Yeah, life is exclusivity of the universe, and this universe has got many families. And we are one of the families. But we've been naughty, we didn't follow the rules to use the energy instead of killing, stealing other energy. We are put outside. Now we are trying to negotiate between the mom and the child. How we're going to bring this child, mom, a little bit. Mom says, no, he's got to be a good boy. He's got to be promised that he doesn't war or somewhere else. He doesn't wake up. Now we're in that point with this technology. We're negotiating by knowledge and technology to bring the naughty boy in, and the mom is playing games, still killing. When we started a world that with this technology we bring peace, and Chinese especially, and the many knowledge seekers around the world, they start putting ganses in the rivers, in the schools, on the streets. In Italy, you remember all, I don't know if you were knowledge seekers, they went to every fountain in Italy, they put ganses in it to change the Italian. And we bring the change. And when that change comes, we change the habit, then yes, gradually we get to the point of joining the family. We stop killing. We said the wars, what we saw, Vietnam, Iraq, all those wars, we promised by 2020 to come to an end. We see the end. The best thing happened for peace, world peace, was Corona. Because we couldn't send any more soldiers. They were scared. Even the soldiers on the same ship, they were not afraid of the enemy anymore. They were afraid of the same soldier next to him has got a Corona. So Corona was the best thing for the world peace. So now we got rid of Corona, Americans start playing, nobody wants to play. We had 2 years of not killing. You have skirmishes here and there, and soon that is between your beautiful country, Italy, Vatican, and the Christians of the same, because the Muslims don't care about the Christians. So once that tic-tac between Vatican and the Church of Russia ends, which is now Vatican accepted defeat this week, they throw the towel in, as we say. They want the Ukrainians to stop the war because Vatican cannot support any more payment to win from the Russians. This is going to finish. We know Americans lost faith in Ukraine. Now they supported Israel to Gaza. Now they're dropping food on the Gazians. Americans killing more of them by the food. They kill them by the bombs. They kill them by the food. So now we're getting to a point there can't be any more war. This is the religious wars which is happening. Palestine is Jews with the Arabs, Muslims, Vatican, what we call Catholics, with the Orthodox Church of Russia, which the Russians won now. Vatican has spent all the money on this war because they thought they're going to really get all the money from the Church of Russia, and now Vatican is going to come with a new trick. What we see it is because reserves are finished in Vatican. We know from our people inside, big part of Vatican money, which was invested to start the war in Ukraine, which actually paid for it. They knew Russia was going to go into Ukraine. If they do what they did, is spent. Very soon you see Vatican will put monsignors and the rest on the street. They started. I can give you some examples of it because they can't afford paying the wages. So we're coming to a point, what pisses us. The big wars are finished. The religious wars finishes. We are back in the path of peace, and then maybe we learn to become a good boy. Mom says, I'll give you a piece of bread from out in to eat, don't go hungry. And that piece of bread is the new technology. We see what we can bring in, we negotiate, we see what it goes. You got to realize Keshe Foundation has two sides. One is public, one is a private, which we influence the politics from behind. And nobody knows. We've done this for years. And we see the Americans are releasing 10 billion last week to Iran, which is supposed to be the biggest enemy. We're going to get another 30 billion release. If you're bad, why do you give us money back? So we are good because you know what? Something we have, you're scared of it. We give you something that's small. And this is the Keshe Foundation technology coming in. Chinese are doing the same to us. So the wars are over. We don't see Vietnam wars. We don't see big wars we have. We have 2 or 3 skirmishes of religions, and now the religions have no value. We see those in the next few months finish. What is next? We don't have any more eager to fight. Americans brought a lot of soldiers in Taiwan recently, trying to poke the Chinese. We told the Chinese, just give us time. In 2 years' time, Americans won't even be able to reach Taiwan, let alone South China Sea. And so, peace is on the card. So the next step is, how do we collaborate? It's a lot of things happen, but we got tired of killing wars. 50 wars at the same time was going around the world in 2018. Now we are more or less to 3 wars, and one is Ukraine, Christians with the Christians, and one is with the Israelis and the rest of the Arab worlds. Houthis and the sea, it's all launched in one bay. And the Americans start paying us as much money. We are such a naughty boy, we pay you to be a good boy. So we accepted 10 billion last week, we accepted another 30 billion next week. But they don't say we lost, we're going back. But we're paying you to go back. We are bribing you not to bomb us when we go, make sure that the streets are clean in the oceans. So we see the world peace on the card because we are tired of it. We don't have the finances to pay for soldiers. And our soldiers, if you get under Corona, nobody goes on the ship. If you notice during the Corona, all the aircraft carriers were strapped to somewhere. Nobody had anything to go anywhere to do. Nobody could go. No soldiers was prepared because they were dying from each other more than their enemies. So it's a blessing of God. The best thing happened to us is Corona because it brought peace.
Allora, l'ultima domanda poi...
So, the last question, and then we'll wind things up because today is also New Year's Eve, and in short, we've taken too much advantage of you. If you could take a leap into the future, 5 years from now, what do you imagine you would see different from today in the world?
Okay. Last question. We know you are very busy.
Italians have a last question.
Just for today.
Can I consult with someone? I have a little frog. Maybe the frog can tell you. 5 years is too short. We look in 10, 20 years' time. If what we have agreed with the Chinese, what we have agreed with the Iranians, what we are negotiating with the Americans, don't forget it's just Keshe Foundation and a lot of proof by technology, a lot of scared. So as an organization, we can see what's the next step. By introducing these new technologies, we are cornering the governments in accepting new technology. Then, if we go the way we go with the nations we are going with, you don't need to imagine because the technology is on the table. It depends how slow we introduce the technology, not how fast. The secret with this technology is to what the slowest speed gradually we introduce it, but all the governments agree. There's a big problem. We have now under development a system which you don't need electric cars. If we put this technology out tonight, and you know the Keshe Foundation has a disease called public teaching, and on a Thursday morning, which is tomorrow's teaching at 9 o'clock, we go and teach everybody how to make it. No one with the right mind would have spent a single penny on Tesla car. Electric cars are obsolete. No one with the right mind, you saw it in the presentation, we can produce as much gas as you like in a bottle like this. We open the box, you saw it. Nobody will buy fuel. The technology in our hand, which some of you sat in it, you didn't know how to trigger it, we didn't show you. We sat people in the system, but we didn't tell people how to trigger it. And 3 or 4 people who triggered it went into different conditions, but they partially triggered it. So you can go from here. The system is here. We don't need to develop it, but we have to tell you which press button. We gave the switch, but we thought how people can switch to elevate or stay or go down. Everybody went down. A few people tried to jump, they got hurt. So you can go from here to Washington in a few minutes, a few seconds. We have to sort that out. It's not just the energy, it's not just the car, it's not just the national security. How fast the government accept that 1,000 American soldiers can be sitting right in Tiananmen Square with a flip of a finger. Would the Chinese put 10,000 soldiers in the Oval Office that half of them are on the street and change the government? Would we get idiots like Netanyahu having this technology, going for everything which his little brain can absorb and create more problems? The problem with us is how slow we can work with the governments to bring these things step by step in, but everybody knowing that the steps are there, that they're coming in. And this is how Keshe Foundation has worked. It's in the knowledge seekers. We teach them how to do, push the public. You saw the Chinese government officials and military here, we push them from there. Somewhere we open the two together. The same will go with Iran, the same will go with the United States. And then we use this gradually. You don't want to put how many people Tesla employs? 10,000, 20,000 people on the road? Yeah. How many thousands of people oil refineries and gas production goes? We have to find alternative situation, alternative border control, alternative agreements that we don't have governments to tax us and create different regimes. We agree one taxes, doesn't matter, and taxes doesn't need to be with the payment you pay. It's a service. You provide a service, that's a service. There is no wages that controls you. You're worth 10,000, I worth 2,000. Is you provide me all the necessities of my life. I live a comfortable life. And I do my best and I serve the nation. I clean the street. I serve the doctors. I research in how the other people be. When we get to that, government needs to organize. This is why we brought the gold. The gold is a, the stick. You don't go where we want to go. We tell everybody to make kilo of gold. Yeah? You don't go the way you don't want to go. We teach everybody how to make energy for rice. American farmers go bankrupt tomorrow. There is nobody wants rice because they can make it in the house. And the proof of it is all of you knowledge seekers receive the gas which was produced by a small farmer. And you can imagine how much his harvest has increased, that he sent nearly 100 kilo, 200 kilo as a gift for the knowledge. So we need governments first agree how. We teach everybody to do it, but we bring it for everybody to understand, because then ruling becomes not United Nation, but it becomes one nation, which is united. And then we run. And it's time. Educating is time. People are greed has to be sorted. I'm more important than you, so I'm wealthy than you. So if you're wealthy, that means a problem. I tell you a story. And I stop. Keshe Foundation and me personally, we have enough wealth. And some of knowledge seekers came to my house in the Sanya. I live in a nice house in the Sanya, which as part of the house we allowed the knowledge seekers, actually the first knowledge seekers education was done in the building in my house area where I live. And we came across one of the richest families of Italy who live in the north. They control, who it is, all the machines which makes all the socks in the world. You know what I'm talking about. The gentleman is 75, 76, married a 30-year-old young girl, and you carry a doll, you pay for the doll. So they had a child, same age as my son. We came to know them because they went to the same private school in north of Italy. We were not happy with the school. They were not happy, so we decided we open the school. She said, no, you don't open the school. We open the school, then your child can come. So she came, we said we invited them to arrange how to open a school for children like us in north of Italy. When she came to the house, she saw where we live, the way we live. She said, you're much richer than us. This is not acceptable. So what she did, because we agreed, they opened the school. I can give you the name of the school. And then when my child went there, after 2 weeks, she said, he cannot come. He says, you are richer than us. He cannot come. I wanted to show you we got more power than you do. This is an intelligent of the Italian woman married to one of your richest men in Italy. So if a stupid wealth is the division of a child not being educated, we need a lot of educating those people who work through their brain and the clothes. And this is the problem. This is where we need to educate. Position, status, fake. And this is what we say, always say. I learned a lot from this experience. That how narrow-minded wealth has made a poor girl who's married a rich man to decide, I want to show I'm wealthier than you because you live in a bigger place. So now you see how slow we have to do. Our problem is not uneducated. Our problem is the riches who want to stick to the power and the money, which has no value anymore. And that's where the problem sits. 5 years, 10 years, I can make as much diamond as you can because I know how to make in the kitchen and you know the same. So where does it come? How fast? How slow? How much the governors are allowed to lose control because they're called the president, the prime minister. Those are the problem, not the ordinary people. How to convince them to let go of the seat of power, fake power, but who can? That's the limitation. Tomorrow morning, we've done this before, it's not something new. We run a 5-day blueprint how to make gold. I promise you by next week, all the banks will be flooded with gold. We spent 5 days how to make the space fuel. We've done this, is not something we're going to do. In 2017, we spent a week showing how people to make an energy system called maggraph. They're still after the energy coming from the plug. If you went in that room in the back, there's over 40 maggraphs running. But our technology, how come we can make it, we can fly with it, we can produce gold with it, and you lot can't? Because we didn't teach you. So that's the speed, how much we get the government. That's why we negotiate with the government. Let us people have the knowledge. We get the patents, the key, the knowledge in 2011, 2012 to all the governments. They didn't share it. 2016, we opened the patent. Everybody knows about it. We did the same with the maggraph. 2017, we opened the maggraph in Italy. It takes me 10 minutes to show you how to make 200-300 kilo of gold a year and see what happens. But we changed the economy. Governments won't be allowed, and I'm sure by tomorrow night I won't be alive because the next time is the energy, the gas, and so it's not how fast, it's how we change the leaders, and that's why we negotiate with governments.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.
Per tutti quelli che vogliono avere più informazioni,
For all those who want more information, in the description box below this video you can find the link to both the Keshe Foundation YouTube channel and the Telegram channel for Italians, where you can interact, ask and get some more information. Goodbye everyone, thank you for being with us and see you in the next video.